Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Regulators.com with your morning horn disease, your sip of chaga coffee. Lots going on. Crazy times. These are crazy times. Go to Road to Rooter. You can figure it all out. Roadtoruder.com. Go through the archives we have. Go through the posts on the first page. There's videos, but check out the teacher's guide. That's a huge one right here. Road to Rooter Teacher's Guide. It will walk you through what's going to happen next. Everybody's like, oh, there'll be a quantum financial system or Gesser and Gesser and all this other stuff that takes deciders. What's going on the Road to Rooter coming out of the Fed Boston is that it takes no deciders. But there is one thing that must be decided: how to allocate the gold and silver money. How to allocate it when the whole system falls down, the banks collapse, and the derivative bomb goes off, and there's no government, or very little government that people believe in. How do you allocate money to the people? For example, if the U.S. Mint is actually doing what I believe they're doing, stockpiling, building to the nest of gold and silver coinage to release to the people, how will they do it? I mean, right now we can't even decide what kind of fiat money to give to people when banks crash. Should we bail out everybody? Should we bail out half the people? Should we bail out bondholders or stockholders or debt holders? We have no idea. The laws don't mean anything anymore. The Fed has thrown out all laws. There is no law anymore. And truthfully, we won't go on, nobody will go to the Fed for answers to this. So if you look at the Road to Rooter, on this is the teacher's guide. Again, for those who don't know, the Road to Rooter documents were published in 1981 at the Fed Boston, and then again in 2007, right before the 2008 crash. That was the last time we were this close to going on to a gold and silver standard and destroying the old system. The question was, how do you allocate? Now, in 2008, they bailed everybody out. This time, the allocation is discussed right here. And I'm telling you, this is the Fed Boston. These are the people deciding what kind of money we're going to use. And they don't even know how to allocate it. Listen to the avenue of approach. Wishes and Rainbows is a story of one society and its attempt to assimilate with least disruption a rare and much coveted new resource. The scarcity of colored flowers, gold and silver as money, is the critical element to the story. Because of the lack of the essential natural resource, sunlight, that's gold, the supply of colored flowers is acutely limited. The demand, however, is overwhelming. Not only is the flower that Rooter brings from Colorland the first flower in Pebbleton, but is also the only color that the Pebble people have ever seen. So remember, most of the people in America will have no idea what to do and no idea how valuable gold and silver are as monetary instruments when the old system goes away. What is being described here is exactly what we're going to go through. But listen to what they decide on as the method of allocation. Is it a Nesra situation where you recalibrate all the debt, which is the dumbest thing you can ever imagine? The Gesra, you recalibrate the global debt. Who's going to do the recalibration? And how does that fix the problem of these rich people having 99% of everything? It doesn't. That's anyway, I don't even want to go down that path again. On the first page of Wishes and Rainbows, the reader is told that, except for lack of color, Pebbleton is much like any other town. Presumably, therefore, the Pebble people have a built-in distribution system for allocation of research. Just how this system works, the reader can only guess. It may be capitalism, socialism, or feudalism. The flowers could all be, here. Now listen to this, the flowers could all be publicly owned and shared, which seems to have been Rooter's original idea when she planted the first flower in the town square. They could be auctioned. So are people going to bid on the gold and silver eagles as money? It doesn't seem right. Especially because everybody, what are they going to bid with if the banks are crashed? They could They could be auctioned off and sold to the highest bidder. Some distribution methods are suggested on page 14 of the comic book, and one can readily imagine many others. We could do a lottery, contest, rewards for public service, etc. Why is Pebbleton's traditional distribution structure abandoned in the case of the new colored flowers? The unusual nature of the new resource, along with the overwhelming disproportion between supply and demand, create a politically sensitive situation. How politically sensitive would the situation be if the banks failed, money's no longer out there, and you've got the Trump people, and you've got the Biden people, and you've got everybody who doesn't believe in any of them all fighting for the new money? Is that politically sensitive? Of course it is. The mayor, who at first is perfectly willing to take one of the flowers for himself, realizes from the clamor for flowers that whatever distribution method is chosen is likely to dissatisfy certain elements of the society. That's why you can have no deciders. Even if he declares public ownership and sharing, he may be accused of asserting too much governmental control. The demand of the color-starved Pebble people for the flowers seems both urgent and insatiable. Can you imagine? The entire world gets wiped out with the derivative explosion. No ATM money, no credit card money, no 401k, nothing. What would the demand for gold and silver be? Massive. The mayor, therefore, assigns Ruta the unenviable task of deciding upon a method of distribution that will satisfy everyone. Now, I've talked about this a couple times. The method she uses is using Social Security payments due. And here's the description. Ruta's distribution system is ingenious. By using an allocation system that is based on seniority, Ruta establishes goodwill with an important segment of the society. Meanwhile, those who must wait to receive flowers are comforted by the knowledge that their turn will come. Finally, Ruta's decision satisfies her personal desire to add color to go back to a gold standard. Again, they don't have the answers. They know what's going to happen. The Fed has been preparing, or the Treasury's been preparing for it. The U.S. Mint has been preparing for it. That's why they greatly expanded Silver Eagle production, but aren't selling any to the people. Only 450,000 every 2 weeks. This is a gift of a lifetime, my friends. You're allowed to get the new money before the new money is even known as money. A gift of a lifetime. There it goes on. I think there's 60 total questions. I'm going to sit down and count them one day. And most of them have no answers. What changes would take place? Remember, a colored flower introduction means the introduction of gold and silver into the monetary system of the world. And definitely it does talk about the end of globalization, the end of trading between Canada and Mexico and the U.S. When the system falls apart, no one's going to trade with each other. We're all going to put our troops on our borders. Well, with Mexico, they got to put their troops on. They got to put the wall up because everybody's going to rush to Mexico to get the silver. There's going to be a mass flood south. And actually, Canada has a lot of gold, but the U.S. has so much hidden, especially in the Grand Canyon area, all around Southern California, where 41% of California is locked up into federal lands. You know, save the spotted toad. Dianne Feinstein was really good at blocking off some of the richest gold areas in the world. So that's where we are. Go to roadtoruta.com. You'll get more information on that. If you have no idea what's Bix talking about today, we have no idea. This is what's going to happen. This is the craziest thing. I mean, theoretically, if you arrest I'm getting text all over the place. If you arrest a ex-president, it better be for like murder or something obviously criminal. The Democrats aren't doing that. They're looking to arrest Trump. I can't think of a better thing to mobilize Trump's base, and when it falls apart, which it will because it's a ridiculous case, the entire world will see just how foolish these idiots are running our country right now. So I think it's great. It's all part of the plan. Hopefully they do a perp walk. Can you imagine a perp walk? Trump's been screaming that the Department of Justice has been politicized and mobilized to take out the Republicans. Not even the Republicans, the Trumps of the world. Anybody against the establishment. That's what they're doing. New York City Police Department has mobilized 700 riot cops and deployed steel barricades around the Manhattan Criminal Court in anticipation of civil disorder, should the Manhattan District Attorney's Office order the arrest of President Donald Trump following a potential grand jury indictment for allegedly paying a former porn star for her silence ahead of his 2016 campaign, which isn't even a crime, by the way. I know the Democrats are scratching, trying to get a crime. We need a crime. It's so insane. Now, a lot of gold and silver people saying, oh my God, if this happens, clearly gold and silver will bust out. No, gold and silver are controlled 100%. Every day, every trade. They can click a mouse and put gold and silver at minus $40 each per ounce. That's how stupid the exchanges are. They're just fake. Everything is fake. The trades are fake. Everything is fake. Same with the stock market. Same with the bond market. Everything is fake. Now, I think the good guys control a lot. So they can if they want to throw a monkey wrench into the stock market or the bond market or the silver and gold market, it's pretty easy to do if you control the computer programs. We'll see what they decide to do. So what's all this doing? It is pushing Putin and Xi into a very close collaboration, which is really interesting. What have I been saying for what? Since Trump got in? First, it's Trump's going to be the bad guy. Second, Putin's going to be the bad guy. And third, Xi is going to be the bad guy. U.S., Russia, China. They're all working together. I'm telling you, they're all working together behind the scenes. It's going fine, except that what's shown to the media and the masses is not the real thing. And I think we're getting very close to the end game for all that, so I'm excited. Really interesting time for Janet Yellen. Further rescues of depositors could be needed if smaller lenders suffer bank runs. What about larger lenders? What if JP Morgan suffers a bank run? We hate JP Morgan. Do you hate the people who have $100 in their savings account? And if you don't bail out, you can't bail out one group and change the rules and not bail out another group and not change the rules. Basically, what Yellen's saying is, we know there's more coming. And then it's going to be infinity. That's what Ruta wrote in the sand. They will print money to infinity. Infinity. As a matter of fact, the U.S. government is actually looking at that very scenario. How U.S. studies how to guarantee all $18 trillion in U.S. bank deposits. Look at the FDIC. Zero Hedge put this up, the FDIC new sign. FDIC insures up to infinity per depositor per FDIC insured bank. What did Ruta write in the sand in the second comic book? What was the conclusion? Print money to infinity. It is exactly happening the way Ruta said it would. Amazing. We do have a Fed meeting tomorrow and the next day. Oh, today. Sorry, today and tomorrow is when we get the announcement. I don't know what they're going to say. If they want to really stir the pot, they'll raise like a quarter basis point. If they put it at 0, they could say, oh, that's the end. I think any way they do it, we're going to see a stock market start to really start crashing very soon. People just can't be that stupid. But then again, it's all computer programs, so it's not people getting into stocks. If you have half a brain, you got physical silver in your own possession. You got physical gold if you don't understand that the gold-silver ratio at 88-1 is the most ridiculous thing on the planet. You could be set for life if you have gold in your hand right now and you swap it all for silver today. Because that ratio number isn't going to last even close to the rest of the year. By the end of the year, I think it'll be 1-to-1. That's right. A 1-to-1 ratio. Why? Because there's 6 billion ounces of each above ground. It's coming out of the ground 7-to-1, so it's at least 7-to-1, which is, you'll do 10 times better in silver than you will in gold. And by the way, did I tell you that Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, supposedly, needs massive amounts of silver? What would he pay for your silver if he couldn't make his electric cars or his solar panels. He'd pay a hell of a lot of money. Same with every other producer out there who needs silver, which is pretty much everybody who has an electronic component as part of their offering. I hope this sinks in. Silver's only at $22.25. As you can tell, this is the 50-day and the 100-day moving averages. They're playing around with that. This is your time to hoard. Back up the truck to your silver dealer. Get as much as you can. If you don't have a dealer, contact Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. Send him an email, info@milesfranklin, info@milesfranklin.com. Say, give me what you got in inventory as soon as you can. And you got to get your wire over to him for that to happen. Why do I say inventory? Andy can't control. If the derivative bomb goes off tomorrow, there's no control of anything. Nobody can control it. You should have your metal in your possession already. Amazingly, a lot of my friends have no idea. They know because I've been screaming about it, but they're not doing it. It's kind of sad. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, commitment of traders report that everybody was looking for because the banks are getting out of their short position. They're going to go long silver. I think they're long silver right now. It was delayed. The insanity of the regulator working with the other regulator, the OCC, the Office of Comptroller of Currencies, that are hiding how much off-balance sheet silver derivatives that Bank of America and JP Morgan have. It's just, I mean, they're colluding. These are two different regulators colluding with each other to help the big banks hide their position changing. Why are they doing it? Because they don't want the world to know that the banks are going long silver. And who's going to be on the short side? Nobody. That's why silver will go skyrocketing so fast. Nobody's going to take a short side of silver. Why would they? A couple people need to hedge their positions. People who have a hell of a lot of silver in inventory. So those are net zeros. That's a fraction of the market. The silver COMEX trading is 100% big banks trading back and forth to each other with computer programs to set the price. 1 month, JP Morgan will make $1 million or $10 million in silver and lose $10 million of gold to Citibank. The next month, it'll be vice versa. JP Morgan will make $10 million in silver, but Citibank will make it up in copper. That's what they do. But there's a handful of banks that do that. It's all orchestrated by a company called EWT LLC that changed their name to Virtu Financial. Virtu Financial. High-frequency trading company, went public with like 5 years without having a loss at any time. Run by Vinny Viola. He was Bernie Madoff's counterpart. Yes, that's how deep this goes. It's insane. By the way, Jamie Dimon's about to go down for his Epstein stuff. So that'll be good. Remember what Jenny Moonstone said to all you private road members? When the child thing is taken care of, silver's going to run like crazy. And I think we're getting close to it. So here's even though the COTs are not released yet, that's a commitment of traders on the COMEX that shows where these banks are. You can see it here. They're like 2 weeks behind still. You can see it here that the commercials, which are the blue, commercials are almost positive. They are almost positive. When that hit positive, that's going to run higher. And the red, which is the non-commercials, like the tech funds, when that goes down there, they will have nobody to take their short position. And don't forget, what's the maximum loss for a long position? Your entire bet. You could lose everything you have. What's the possible loss of a short position? Infinity. Infinity losses if you're short and you get squeezed. Infinity losses. You'd basically be bankrupt even if you're JP Morgan. They don't have a short position anymore, but some of these big banks still do. Infinity losses. That's a big loss. Just keep that in mind. And it looks like when this is updated, you're going to see this blue line go above the zero. which means the banks will be long silver. And the red line will go farther below zero, which means that the mutual funds and the tech traders are absolutely screwed and going to get destroyed. And then who is going to buy back the short? Nobody. That's how you get a moonshot. So hang on tight. It's all coming true. It turns out that JP Morgan bought the nickel. That was actually a bag of rocks. This is running around. Why would they even announce something like this? This is tiny compared to what's going to happen. Maybe it's, hey, there's something going on. The bag of rocks things is ridiculous. You don't even need a bag of rocks. It's all done with paper. There's no bag of rocks when it comes to false reporting. They just don't have it. They don't have the nickel in this case. And Jamie Dimon's getting his name raked through the fire. We will see. I think ultimately that's the target of the good guys. Take out the largest bank in the world and the largest derivative holder. I think they're at $60 trillion in derivatives. And take out Jamie Dimon and Blythe Masters. They just took out Blythe Masters, Credit Suisse. She was the head of Credit Suisse at the time. I know. Crazy, huh? Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Lots more coming down the line. Check out the private posts on the Road to Ruta. I'm going to do another one today, update number 7. Whole bunch of great stuff on there on the private road. If you want to join the private road, go to subscribe today at roadtoruta.com. And for every membership, 1-year membership, $2.99, we will send you a silver Ruta Lives coin, the coolest coin ever made. And just stick that in your pile with your other silver and your cryptos and get ready for some insane chaos to hit the markets very soon. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.